So for those of you that are new, sometimes we have new people that join us on our little extended family on our YouTube channel, but also we have some new students here with us at the Shala. And conference is something that was done in India when I would go study with Pattabhi Jois. Even back when we had the small little Shala in Lakshmipur, we all looked forward to what we called conference with Pattabhi Jois, with Guruji, on Sunday afternoons. And we would all show up and squish into this little room together, and Guruji would give us a teaching or we would ask him questions. And that tradition has continued on in Mysore, India, with Sharat, who's running the Ashtanga Institute there. And one time I was on a retreat with Sharat, and I think we were in Byron Bay, and I have students always have all these questions, but in Mysore we're not supposed to talk, it's supposed to be our meditation. And so I asked Sharat, I'm like, Sharat, what should I do? If students want to talk to me during Mysore, and I always try to keep them focused and not to have them talk to me. And he said, you should be having conference every week. You should be teaching. And ever since then we've had conference here at the Shala, and I love it because sometimes I think it's easy for us to get so involved in the asana practice and the poses and what pose you're on, what pose you're getting next and everything, that we lose sight of the beauty of the philosophy that supports all of that, the full 8 limbs of the practice. So I love the conference time, I love the teachings. Whatever we're studying here, I'm studying myself, and it keeps me fresh and keeps me alive. And so we have our yoga philosophy, Eastern philosophy, psychology, neuropsychology, and this semester we have Mindlift, which is a book, and also it's kind of a program as well. At the end of this, we're going to ask you guys to make a 30-day commitment. So today officially starts our new semester at the Shala, studying the book Mindlift. And the author of this book, Casper, was actually one of my instructors, my main instructor with the Wim Hof method. Of course, Wim being the main instructor. And I just have to say, Casper was really just such an amazing teacher, probably one of my favorite teachers ever. So I enjoyed this book. I enjoy this as a program. It's perfect for yogis, for Ashtangis, because we're going to be studying the brain. We're going to start off with that, and then we're going to move into meditation and how we take care of our bodies, and some biohacking and some fun stuff. So very thoughtful, and yet also some just kind of fun new things. So this week I'm asking you guys to start off the book by reading the Prelude, which is a little bit about Casper's story, and he has a really amazing story. He's probably one of the most healthiest, fit people I have ever met. This guy does like swimming in the ice and just all kinds of amazing things. But his story really starts with not taking care of his body and being very depressed and overweight, and kind of transforming himself into the man he is today, and inspiring others through that. So, and by the way, Casper and Wim and the whole team is going to be in Los Angeles in May. And so we did talk Casper into coming and doing a Mindlift workshop here, as well as a Wim Hof workshop. So that's on our website too. And just so all of you know, I know some of you know how much I'm into the Wim Hof method, but this is not that. This is a completely different study that really fits in well with our yoga. So the first chapter I want you guys to read after the Prelude is called Our Brain is a Miracle Machine. And guess what? It's only 3 pages. So 21 to 23, no problem. You guys can read this in a few minutes. And it's an important chapter for me to have all of you read, because this is really going to set us up for this semester at the Shala. I want you to understand the human brain from a physiological standpoint, because that's going to be what we grow off of this semester. So we're going to talk about the reptilian brain. You guys familiar with that? Anybody? T, what's a reptilian brain? Yeah, exactly. If you guys can hear it, she said so beautifully, it regulates the functions that we don't have to think about. So your heart is beating, the blood's flowing through, my eyelashes or my eyes are blinking to keep my eyeballs nice and... So that's the reptilian brain, the older brain. Then we're going to get into sort of the newer brain. What is the evolution? What's our newer brain? Jackie knows this. She's a doctor. What's our new brain called? Yeah, the neocortex. Yeah, so we're going to be studying and understanding a little bit about those. And I'm just going to read to you the first part of the chapter to inspire you guys a little bit. How awesome would it be to have a device that can make you happy, healthy, and successful? A tool that can dramatically improve your quality of life and enables you to learn, work, and develop yourself at lightning speed. A device that is equipped with performance-enhancing systems, stimulating drugs, and healing medicine. A machine that can provide you with creative solutions, original ideas, and unique insights. Wouldn't that be amazing? Well, you can start smiling because you have that, right? That's the brain. I love that we are going to be studying the brain because I feel like it's the thing in our body that we don't recognize, or we don't acknowledge, or we don't really pay attention to, and yet it is the one thing in our bodies that it regulates everything. Like how your avatar, we say that's our container, our body, how it works, but also how your thinking processes, your memories, your connection to other people. It's literally the machine that it creates everything from your emotional self to your physiological self. But we don't give it much credit. We don't really do much with the brain. We come here even to yoga and we focus on how strong our arms are, how flexible our legs are. And in our life, we do the same type of things. But we're learning more and more from science, especially psychology now, neuropsychology, neuroscience, is how much we can actually do the same kind of asanas we're doing and things like that to improve our brains. You know, to keep our physical body healthy through our brain, but also our emotional body healthy through the brain. So I'm going to ask you guys to read this chapter to give you a basis of the physiological stuff that we're going to be working with. And also I'd like you guys to watch a TED Talk this week. It's on our website, and it's by Jill Taylor. Some of you familiar with her. We've had this TED Talk before. Do you remember this one? She was a neuroscientist who had a stroke. And she wrote a book called My Stroke of Insight. And her TED Talk is one of my favorite ever. She actually comes out and holds up a human brain and kind of goes through, for her, this day in her life where she was getting ready for work and she realizes as a scientist that studies the brain that she's having a stroke. And kind of goes through this process of having the stroke and what her body started to do. And really her TED Talk, a little different from Casper's, talks about the difference between the right side of your brain and the left side of the brain, and the different functions of the two. So her stroke was on the left side of the brain, so she was sort of a left brain sort of person, being a scientist and all. And after the stroke, she sort of resides in her right side of the brain, which she lovingly refers to as La La Land. And her loving connection to everybody else and her feeling of joy. And the TED Talk is very beautiful in the end, really makes a case for all of us strengthening the right side of our brain and really kind of embracing that. Have you seen that TED Talk? No? You guys are going to love it. Kimmy, you remember that TED Talk? No? Okay. So it's on the website. So I'd really like you guys to read these 3 pages with Casper and go into that TED Talk. And what I'm hoping on the other side of that is you're going to be really inspired this semester to want to take care of your brain. We're going to be like talking about consuming coconut oil and some fun biohacks like that. But at the same time, every time you guys come to your mat, we're going to be looking at how this yoga practice really helps us, because our quote today from Jill is all about what we understand is more so than ever that your mind completely has the ability to change your brain, right? So everything that we're doing in here to train your mind is training your brain. To keep it where we want it to be in the present moment, to take it to good thoughts rather than being stuck in poisonous negative thoughts. All these kind of things that yoga is based in has to do with how we are creating a healthier brain for our physical bodies, for our emotional bodies. So here's your quote for this week. It is by Jill Taylor, My Stroke of Insight. Although many of us may think of ourselves as thinking creatures that feel, biologically we are feeling creatures that think. This week's gratitude meditation is on the power of the brain and the beauty of the mind. It operates and animates the essence of our being, our soul. So we'll finish our class today with a little meditation on your brain.